So see, for overlap, the rule is, for example, yeah. So basically, first of all, for speaker tagging, for call center, uh, for the agent, the customer tag or the speaker tag would be A1, right? For agent, and for customer, it would be C1. Okay, so so this is okay over here, right? Now, second is overlap. So for overlap, what we need to do is, for example, it's like A1 is saying, "Hello, Summer, how are you? Hope you're doing fine." Right? And the customer is saying, "Hi, I'm fine, thank you. Hope you are doing well." Okay. So now over here, if like, "Hello, Summer, how are you?" Right? This portion is clear. However, from this part, "Hope you are doing fine," and this part, "Hi, I'm fine, thank you." If there is overlap, so for when this person is saying "Hope you're doing fine," just behind him the C2 is saying "Hi, I'm fine, thank you." So both the words can be heard, both the sentences can be heard, but it is overlapping each other. So in that case, what the customer expects is we need to separate out the overlapping portion, right? So this portion, right? So this has to be separated out. So yeah. So now "Hope you're doing fine." This is said by A1, right? So it will be like overlap A1, "Hope you're doing fine," overlap complete, and then overlap C2, "I am fine, thank you," overlap complete. Okay. Point to be
Okay.
noted.
Okay. So overlap thing will be in all together into separate segment, right?
Yes, it should be separate segment. Yeah, and all this should be in small letters. Uh,
Huh.
only for this particular word, and so basically now we have got three segments. A1. So under speaker tag A1, it would be "Hello, Summer, how are you?" Under speaker tag overlap, there is a speaker tag overlap. You will have this, right? So जहाँ पे भी A1 is speaking, I mean that portion would be under A1. Whereas C2 is sorry C1 is speaking, that portion will be under C1, right? So when you type over here, अगर आपने overlap डाल दिया, so like when I open the angular bracket, I get a drop down. Here I get both the speaker tags A1 and C1, right? So I need to select both A1, and again I'll select C1, right? Or जहाँ पे भी whatever C1 is saying, I type that under that, inside that, and whatever A1 is saying, speaking, I'll type that content inside. So this is the first scenario. So first scenario is where both of them are speaking on top of each other, and both the conversation is clear, as in the transcriber is able to figure out what A1, he's able to separate out what A1 and C1 are speaking, right? So that is one scenario. Second scenario is I can hear what A1 is saying, but I can't hear what C1 is saying. So what I'll do is under C1, within C1 I'll put UNIN. So UNIN stands for unidentified. So if you look at the guidelines, there's a tag where if you're unable to understand a speech, you'll put the UNIN tag. Okay, so that tag is also over here. So you just open the angular bracket, you get the. So all the tags which are there in the guidelines is there over here, right?
Okay, can you open that pad again? Huh? And for an example, that pad, writing pad. Okay, huh? For an example, in third segment, C1 under C1, doing, well, if well, we can't identify the word well. Okay, so what we have to put unit tag over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that we
Right.
have done.
There's one more thing called. So all this is having said that, like if somebody is laughing or coughing and all that, for some other customer there are tags for that. We don't have a tags for that. They say tell that you ignore that, right? Or if there is a big music section, just put SIL, right? Or if the if the somebody the person is himself is singing some song, the main speaker, then you put there's a tag called music, right? But since these are all call center conversations, we won't have all those scenarios, right? But the guidelines, like mostly all the scenarios are covered, right? One more thing is like for UNIN, if it is like I say Sir Summer, right? So this is like a false start. I want to say Summer, but I'm saying Sir Summer. So this will also be under UNIN. ठीक है तो Sir
And
Summer
what
का
about the fillers?
yeah. So fillers are like so I just use a filler, right? So Summer, hope you're doing fine. So FIL, is for FIL. I mean, the is a filler word, right? So Summer, hope you're doing fine.
Achha, we don't have to use fillers. Huh?
No, so you instead of you're putting FIL, right? So that's a filler tag. Okay, there are something called interjections, right? So interjections are like wherein you just said so is like an interjection wherein somebody is confirming or affirmation, so responding back, so that has to be typed out. No,
Oh,
all these words there. Yeah. Filler words are nothing but thinking words. Like between two words, summer and hope ke beech mein, when I'm thinking some I mean what to say next. That is a filler word, right?
yes, yes.
So these are the basic tags. One more thing is like hello summer, and between hello and summer, I take a pause of say more than 1 second, right? So then I need to introduce the SIL tag. SIL is for silence or no speech.
No. But correct me if I'm wrong. If you have taken a pause of more than 1 second
Yeah.
between hello summer and how are you, so I have to create two different segments, right?
No. So
No,
if it is
as per the guideline, it's mentioned that a minimum duration of a segment is 1 second, right?
yeah.
If there is a gap of more than 1 second, then we have to create new segment.
No,
And
if
if
it's a
there
gap
is
of
more
more than 4 seconds, you have to create a new segment.
four FOUR.
Yeah, FOUR.
अच्छा जी, okay.
So basically, hello summer, I take a pause, and
Hmm.
approximately 1 second is like otherwise you can put a comma over here if it is you feel it's like, but yeah, andaza like if there's 1 second pause, you put SIL in between the pause. I mean in
What
between
we
the
have done, we have created segments over there.
no. So basically, 1 second का अगर pause है, right? So you put SIL in between that. If the pause is for more than 4 seconds, for example, यहाँ पे if it is more than so again see what the idea over here is now यहाँ पे if this is one speaker speaking right from here to here, so ये जो pause है I'll put SIL over here, like looking at the waveform, right? But if there's some speech over this, I need to type it out. But if this is say a flat line and there is no speech, so I'll put SIL, right? Or ये जो है, if it is a different speaker altogether, so anyways I have to create a new segment for a different speaker, right? But in between speaker one and speaker two, there is a pause of more than say 1 second, so it's okay. I can create a new segment and tag it as SIL, like the way यहाँ पे जैसा
Of course, because there is a different speaker, so automatically that will
exactly.
be a two different
Yeah,
segment.
the other way how you
Okay,
can do it is
one more thing. Just suppose in I can- where you have put your mouse. Okay,
mm,
let's
mm,
say let's say for an example instead, uh, there is a less than 4 second of gap,
mm.
and there is two different speaker. Okay,
Yeah,
now while creating and while breaking the segment,
mm.
what portion of the silence, like there are some
That's
silence.
okay. I got your point. Yeah. So basically, for example, अगर this is the portion you're talking about, this one, right? So for example, यहाँ से I mean, just give an example. This portion till here is one speaker, and this portion till here is second speaker, right? So you can cut it over here. इधर आप cut कर दो उसको, और उसको C1 या A1 करो, इसको C1 करो. समझ गए? So that it's okay. Like even if you cut in between, so
अच्छा
that
अच्छा
is no hard and fast rule. Yeah.
हाँ.
So between two, because it's very difficult to cut. So one more thing we need to ensure is you need to allow the speaker to complete his speech. Because if you cut it at this point, other speech अगर okay है तो K चले जाएगा, O यहाँ पे आ जाएगा, right? So we need to capture what the speaker is saying completely in the entirety. So we need to cut it at a point where he is completing his speech, right? So it shouldn't cut on top of the waveform. It should be somewhere in the flat line जहाँ पे वहाँ पे cut करना है. ठीक है?
Okay.
Yeah. So now Okay, so let me play these segments. So for playing the segment, it is, since you're already recording it, I'm just explaining it again. It is shift and tab, right? So I'll play this. There is some background noise, but it's fine. So the idea here is to capture the main speaker's voice, right? जो main speakers है, उनका conversations हमको capture करना है, right? So when in some of the files, especially for English, you will find multiple call center agents speaking, right? तो कुछ कुछ फाइल में, but we should always capture what the main agent and the main customer is speaking, right? So for example, some of these audios belong to some company called Burger Singh, not Burger King, Burger Singh, right? So the customer has purchased these audios. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि it's a typical call center. So you will find when the main agent is when the agent is speaking with the customer, you will find some other agent speaking with some other customer. Okay, so we need not capture that voice. We need to focus only on the main speakers, main parties conversation. So in that case, what will happen is it won't be an overlap. So when A1 is speaking, agent is speaking, and behind the agent, some other agent is speaking with some other customer. So there is a tag called NPS. There is a tag called NPS, right? So NPS or NPS close. So if I type NPS. So NPS stands for what? Non-primary speaker. Okay, it is there in the guidelines. If you check the guidelines, so here what it means is when A1 is speaking, so whatever A1 is speaking, hope you are doing fine. Okay, I'm just typing it. Jaldi type kar raha hu. Okay, and when the A1 is speaking this, behind him, some other agent is speaking something else. But मुझे सुनाई दे रहा है. I can understand what he's speaking, but I don't need to type it. But in that case, what I'll do is I'll just open the NPS tag and I'll type what our agent A1 is speaking, right? And once this person's voice noise is not audible, the पीछे जो बात कर रहा है, if his voice is not audible, I can close the tag, right? So till that point I'm able to hear the background noise. I'll keep the NPS tag. To share quick feedback with you, so you understand all this, right? So, and one more thing, so you understood overlap, you understood NPS, right? Segmentation is like, as I told, you need to capture the speech, right? So if there is a silence after the speech, you can create a new segment. There is no problem, right? But if there is silence between two, like अगर आपने एक segment create किया, in between there is a silence of 1 second, the SIL tag has to be introduced. Okay. So as per the guidelines, and SIL, FIL, UNIN. So these are some of the common tags, right? One more this you will find is SUP. So SUP is used where, so this is a tag, right? SUP. So SUP is used, it's like suppress, right? For example, if the customer is sharing some sensitive information like PAN card number, Aadhaar card number, or phone number is okay.
अच्छा, PII or PII.
Personal information जैसा है, right? So it's like PII. So there is for this customer it is SUP, right? So you put SUP tags, right? If there
Don't
is
have to write those information.
no, you need to write. You need to write, but within the SIL, within the SUP tag.
अच्छा, SUP. अच्छा, ठीक है.
So these are like sensitive information. But address and all that is fine. If he's telling his address, it's okay. But like Aadhaar card, PAN card, bank account.
Any KYC detail.
KYC data, yes. Right. There is another tag called AW. AW is for abusive words. Right. So that also has to be typed in, but within the AW tag. Right. I don't think you will find much scenarios, but like stupid, idiot, any chota mota galis, that has to come under AW, right? I think, yeah. So this is, so let me very quickly, this is okay. Okay. Now, so what I do is I click within the segment and I press Shift and Tab to play that particular portion, right? So see here, ये hello तो नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है मुझे, एक मिनट यहाँ पे. Hello. See, hello is coming over here. Hello. Right? But यहाँ पे there is nothing. So what you do is just, so after the transcription, you are supposed to click on each of the text area or each of the segments and press Shift and Tab and see if it is matching. So here if you see it is not matching, right? यहाँ पे कुछ है नहीं. And hello is said over here. Hello. Right? So now what I'll do is I'll merge the segment. 3, because 3 में hello बोला है और 2 में hello type किया है. So let me merge 3 with 2. Right? So now if I play this, let me close this thing. Yeah, if I play this, hello, right? And there is a silence in the end, right? So, and if I click here, hello, yeah, my English. Yeah. and this is not overlap, right? Am I speaking to Mr.? So that is also not complete, right? So Mr. usne, so let me merge all
Acha,
the segments.
is there any tool? Is there any tool in this platform where we can listen particular segment in a loop?
So this is thing, na, ये जो है, if I click on the text area and if I press Shift Tab,
Hello? Hello?
you just
What will be the minimum duration of that silence portion that we
no,
need to
see,
keep?
I am keeping this as a separate segment only because here the speaker is changing, right? Otherwise, the other way to do this is I'll merge this, right? And
What will be the minimum size of that SIL should be? So like when a speaker A is saying and speaker C1 is saying, so for a speaker A say hi hello, and there is a pause of just 1 milli or 2 millisecond, and then second speaker is saying, so again we have to put that silence tag over there
no,
as
no.
well.
So see, if this was a compressed waveform, right? अगर ये जो second speaker है, if his waveform is starting somewhere at this point, instead of
Acha,
you
so you
starting
mean to
here,
say,
right?
you
So
mean
in
to
that
say
case,
that we need to identify it by seeing this wave, you know?
waveform, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So if it was here, then I would have just cut it. I don't need to put SIL, right? Because immediately the other person is speaking. Here, since there is a gap of around a second, either I need to put it in the end after hello, or I can separate it out as a separate segment. So that is okay. So here,
Hello?
it's okay if I put SIL in the end. So click on the text area, the segment is getting highlighted, right? So here overlap is wrong, right? So if I do
Hello?
this,
Yeah, am I speaking?
I'm speaking to Miss again here Miss. I can't hear Ter, right? So what I'll do is again this is a wrong segmentation. So let me merge this segment, right? So this has come up, and this Aryaman has also come up. Let me merge this. So now if I click on segment 3, right? Abhi, it is starting from here till here. Okay. Now let me play this.
Hello? Yeah, am I speaking with Aryaman?
So see, hello, yeah, am I speaking to Mr. Aryaman? And in between you can hear a small hello, right? So there is no need to cut create an overlap. So overlap we'll create only if there is a substantial amount of overlap. So for example, in this case, when he says, hello Samar, how are you? Hope you're doing fine. And he says, I'm doing fine, right? Uh, and hope you're doing fine as well. No, so here, if there is a substantial overlap, I can create an overlap tag. But if there is like when I'm saying something and you're like I'm saying something, and in between you're saying okay, all right. So I don't need to create overlap over there. Got it? So यहाँ पे if you listen to the segment, it's
Hello? Yeah, am I speaking with Aryaman?
see in between he says hello. So this has been put as overlap. So there's no need. In fact, there's no need to type hello. So I'll just put hello,
Acha.
right? Speaking to
Hello? Yeah, am I speaking with Aryaman?
ठीक है, that hello is coming in between ना, somewhere over here it is coming. So it is very difficult. आप cut कहाँ पे करोगे उसमें? How do you separate that?
Exactly,
हाँ,
exactly.
so इसके लिए the small interruptions in between is okay. You can ignore that,
Acha,
right?
we can avoid that.
हाँ, तो उसको आप overlap में मत डालो. Overlap is when both the parties are speaking substantial amount of words and they are overlapping each other.
Got
Got
it.
it ना? हाँ, तो यहाँ पे भी आप क्या करो कि देखो it is getting cut on top of this audio. So let us avoid that. Let us cut it at this point, right? So what I'll do is I'll press enter. So if you see the one more between 3 and 4, there will be a blank segment. So I'll press enter.
Merge.
So one sec. Aryaman, यहाँ पे. So actually this thing doesn't go down. So yes, I'll. So see, this platform is also a very basic version now. So like they are working on it to improve the this. So we had to release this platform because of this particular delivery. So but it is it's quite good. आपका basic requirements को cover कर लेता है. So now if I see here, if I play this
Hello? Yeah, am I speaking with Aryaman?
Aryaman and I'm allowing it to complete. ठीक है, I'm not cutting it over here. ठीक है, इसको थोड़ा साइड में लेके मैंने कट किया. So I created a segment. So now here,
Yeah.
okay, and this is SIL. This is fine. So let me play this again. See, this person is starting to speak, right? उसका कुछ तो एक आवाज आ रहा है. So what I'll do is let me not cut it exactly at this point. थोड़ा पीछे मैं कट करूंगा उसको. ठीक है. So I'll press enter again, right? So now if I play this, now if I play this SIL here, ये जो पोर्शन है और ये एक्चुअली या बोल रहा है, या का आपको सुना दे रहा है, राइट? सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज आई विल गो डाउन, आई विल मर्ज द सेगमेंट with the blank segment. Now if I play, it is starting from this point, right?
Yeah.
ठीक है, yeah. So यहाँ पे भी एक SIL आ रहा है. So you can put a SIL or probably it's okay. Like, so SIL between speeches is more important. End or आगे का, but let's put it. Okay, so now here, now if I take the sixth segment.
Yes, sir. Azman, you're calling from Burger Singh, sir.
Burger Singh का SING नहीं आएगा, SNGH आएगा, right? So spelling mistakes is something. Now he's telling there is some information, speaker ID not added. So at every point it validates, right? So I need to add the speaker ID, whatever speaker ID it is, A1, C1, जो भी है. Okay. So here it is no speaker because it's standalone, right? So it should be no speaker, right? And now if I go down, there is a big SIL.
Yeah.
ये इतना SIL है.
Yeah, I talked to you yesterday, right?
तो यहाँ पे either you put SIL or you can create a separate segment till here and then yeah as a separate segment. Yeah. So anyway, so I will put SIL over here. Now this one.
Yeah. I called you for the same, sir. So do you have can we talk?
I think something is missing here. Let me play it again.
Yeah. I called you for the same, sir. So do you have can we talk?
See, do you have time? Like something he's saying something like that. Do you have time?
Yeah. I called you for the same, sir. So do you have can we talk?
So this.
Yeah. I called you for the same, sir. So do you have can we talk?
Do you have the time he's saying? But that is not clear, right? So you can put UNI in at that point because it's not clear, right? So if I play.
Yeah. I called you for the same, sir. So do you have can we talk?
And we have to put silence tag.
Can you talk me? Yeah. So let me play it again.
Yeah. I called you for the same, sir. So do you have can we talk?
Can we talk? He's telling. So the idea is to get maximum accuracy for each of the segment, because see what will happen is, so for example, we are giving 200 hours to the customer, right? 200 hours is probably say 1,000 files, right? So from each of the file, what they'll do, they'll randomly pick up some files, and from each of the files, they'll pick up one segment and one audio clip, the customer, right? And then they'll QC on that. So we don't know like which segment they'll pick. So that's why the accuracy for like you can have one mistake in say 15-25 words, one mistake is fine. But in 3 words, if there is one mistake, it's an issue, right? So all these things have weightage, tagging, and typos, missing words, also segment not matching. Yeah. So now again, if I play this one.
Yeah. I have 10 minutes. Yeah.
So yes, that's fine. It's not audible here.
Yeah. I have 10 minutes. Yeah.
He's just saying yeah, and that's fine. So we again, if I take this.
So Mr. Aryaman, you are planning to open a store in Goa, right?
इसके बाद भी SIL है. So let me merge this now. So if I merged 9 with this, and if I play this.
Yeah, I have 10 minutes. That's fine. So Mr. Aryaman, you are planning to open a. Yeah, I have 10 minutes. That's fine. So Mr. Aryaman, you are planning to open a store in Goa, right?
So Mr. Aryaman, planning to open a store in Goa, right? So
yeah, I have 10 minutes. That's fine. So Mr. Aryaman, you are planning to open a store in Goa,
the
right?
other person is telling yeah, sure, but he's selling it very fast, so you don't have to type it as overlap, right? So we can ignore all the small yeahs, okay, from the other party. So when the main speaker is speaking, and you have other person just interrupting in between, yeah, okay, all right, okay, so that we can ignore, right? As I said, only substantial overlaps should be put as overlap in a separate segment.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think यहाँ पे SIL आएगा, because in the end, or probably what I will do is I'll cut it at this point and press enter, and I'll create a SIL over here, right? So see, anyways, what happens is when we create a standalone SIL, we run a script which removes all the standalone SILs, because this customer data science team is mainly focused on the speech part, right? तो ये जो आगे पीछे का जो SILs है, that doesn't add any value for them. Only SILs in between speech that adds value. I mean, they want a tag of that, right? So all this SILs, yeah, I can just ignore. Only thing I have to separate, no speaker I have to.
Very much.
Yeah,
very much.
Yeah, और ये जो okay है, that will be capital, right? All OKs, you can't type it as OKAY. It should be O and K. It is there in the guidelines. Okay, and punctuation marks. So yeah, all punctuation marks, all those things are count. So one more thing is on capitalization. So this is capital. Other this is like if there is any abbreviation, right? So a person is spelling out the name of a bank, right? So he says ICICI. So that has to be in capital, and it has to have space in between, right? I space C space I space C space I. Okay. Similarly, HDFC, right? But there are other abbreviations like NASA. So NASA is not spelled out, right? We don't say NASA, right? So we usually say NASA. So that will be, even though it is an abbreviation, it can be written in small and clubbed together as a word. But all the abbreviations which is spelled out as a letter, that has to come with space and capitalized in capital words. Okay. So NASA, this is also there in the guidelines. NASA, NAFTA, right? UNESCO. Okay. So all these are abbreviations, but
USA, how you write USA?
USA will be abbreviation. So USA, United States of America. Hindi file mein if there is an English word, right? So Hindi file mein if the source language is Hindi, and if there is a Hindi word, that if there is an English word, that English word will come in the LM tag, right? So LM is for language mismatch. So if the source language is English and there is Hindi, it is expected that you type Hindi within the LM tag. Hindi आपको आना चाहिए typing, right? There's a hello, मेरा नाम. It's like if there is a short conversation, right? मेरा नाम. So Google input, right? So yeah, so it will be like hello, मेरा नाम, my name is. Alright. Similarly, if it is a Hindi file and there is English, the English will be in the LM tag. This is quite a big segment.
So, Mr. Aram, I'll do one thing. I'll give you the information about the franchisee really quick. So, right now, the model that we are giving is a FOFO model, franchisee owned and franchisee operated. You are going to be the owner of franchisee and you are going to operate it. We have three formats. So, Mr. Aram, I'll do one thing. I'll give you the information about the franchisee really quick. So, right now, the model that we are giving is a FOFO model, franchisee owned and franchisee operated. You are going to be the owner of franchisee and you are going to operate it. We have three formats. One is takeaway, one is dine-in, and the third model that we have is a food court model. So basically, this food.
One is I think pura type 1 here. I'm not sure. One is takeaway, one is dine-in. He's saying. So I don't see all that. Yeah. So yeah. So basically, if you're creating such a big segment, if there is such a big segment, my suggestion is like you can probably break it. यहाँ पे आप break करो उसको. इतना बड़ा type किया तो probably you might miss out some word. So if this is the way, so if for example I want to break it at this point, right? So I'll just, because I see a flat bar, I think there is silence over here. So I'll just cut this, right? So now if I play this one, Shift Tab.
So Mr. Aram, I'll do one thing. I'll give you the information about the franchisee really quick.
Really quick. So the remaining segment I'll cut it, Control X, and paste it over here, right? So this segment is.
So Mr. Aram, I'll do one thing. I'll give you the information about the franchisee really quick.
Okay. Now if I play this.
So right now the model that we are giving is a FOFO model, franchisee owned and franchisee operated. You are going to be the owner of franchisee and you are going to operate it. We have three formats. One is take.
Yeah. So let me cut it over here. This one. Enter. Yeah.
So right now the model that we are giving is a FOFO model, franchisee owned and franchisee operated.
Franchisee operated. So this way, what I can do is I can, rather than creating one big segment, there are chances that I might miss some words, right? So wherever there is a long pause, better cut that segment, right? You can cut it over here also, even if it's the same speaker speaking, right? So speaker ID not added, that you have to add. Similarly now, this one.
You are going to be the owner of franchisee and you are going to operate it.
Now you are going to operate it. So here I'll cut it here. So I'll play this one.
We have three formats. One is takeaway, one is dine-in, and the third model that we have is a food court model. So basically, this
One is dine-in is missing, right? And the third model we have. So that's why it's better to break one big continuous conversation into small chunks rather than creating one segment, big segment, right? Because we tend to lose words. ठीक है ना? So I'll save it. And after every segment, it is suggested that you save the segment because since it's online and the internet net might go at any point. So all the segment has to be once typed, it has to be saved. Okay? So if you can